Welcome back to Barrel Brothers, and this week we actually know what we're doing. We're back on the Spacia wheels, so stay tuned. Okay, so after having dutifully, you see our new t-shirt range? Want a tee or a pointer for that matter? I've got plenty of these. www.barrel-bros.com and go there and you will be able to buy this and sundry center caps and what have you, nuts and bolts and all that sort of stuff for your wheels. So anyway, having dutifully measured the car up, figured out what lips we needed and sent our order off down to Craig at Whitehorse Industries in Victoria. Today, this arrived. Which, as you can see, it's a rather large box for 4 lips about that wide. Now, Craig did say that there was a gift in there. So, and he said, read the note before passing judgment. I don't know what's going on here. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Let's knock something off the bench. Wrapped in plastic. See? There's no way. 4 less is about that high, so something else is definitely in here. There's another box in here. Come off, you son of a... Oh no, Lilial's fallen over. Okay, so what's in this one? There's the other 2, which we'll unwrap in a tick. SSR 13-inch SSR Mark1. SSR Mark1 are actually 4-piece wheel, inner barrel, outer lip, hub plate, stiffener plate. Yeah, stiffener plate assembly hole pattern is not concentric, at least on this sample. Stiffener plate needs to go back into the wheel as it came out, otherwise the holes will be out of alignment. Must be an early one. Now I've obviously chopped this off, the lip off at some stage. There's the center plate. Oh, I can see what they've done here. That's a Mark 1 lip. See, it goes right through to the center. That's cool. So this is the original Mark 1 barrel that they've like cut the weld and cleaned it up a little bit. And this is the new lip they've made. Mark 1 up to now, we haven't ever bothered with trying to do lips for, because they come to the center like that. They need these 4 holes drilled. They need these. See, they've obviously drilled it on a CNC something, as you can see, the elongated holes, but they're not, as he says in the note, not concentric. So in that case, it's better to put it through it at a what? See, it's got, and when I say these are 4 places, there's 1, 2, this one at the back. You notice how it's dented out like that because there's an extra plate in behind there, so strengthener plate. I don't know if you can see that. You might undo these and have a bit of a look. And then there's another plate that goes all the way through to the outside here. It's just a flat plate, and then there's the lip on the front. That's freaking cool. Craig. Okay. Check them suckers out. This is only 1.5 inches. Lips and barrels always measured from there to where the tyre bead sits, not to the edge of the rim. This is only 1.5 inches, see? But they're bigger than the ones that are on the wheel, so we can get stuck in putting these together now. Okay, so here's the center that we pulled out. We've stripped the paint from. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? We don't have the spokes sticking out in front of the lip. So yeah, happy about that. All right, so these we can't run unwelded. Plenty of bolt holes, but look at the big gaps in between there. And we have to do a cutout for the valve. So yeah, because of those big gaps, have to be welded back up again, and we have to machine slot for the valve, just in there. So let's get to work. So we'll start today's, well, the whole job. We'll start today's job with getting some paint off it. Now this one I've already had partially stripped. It still needs a blast. It's got a bit of paint and whatnot in here. These guys haven't been touched, so we need to get all this paint off. I've got a couple of drums out the back that we used to have the methylene chloride in, and our methylene chloride evaporates like a bastard. So whether we've got any left, I don't know. I think we'll go down and have a look, and if we've got some, then we'll chuck these in and get as much paint off them as possible. It's been a while since I looked at either of these, so might have some, might not. A little bit of slop on the bottom. It looks like water. Done. No, nothing. Look at that rust. Oh. That one's got a bit in it. Stainless steel chain. Oh, it's got quite a bit of water in there. That's probably why it's still there. I think it's got a layer of water on top. And that's what stopped it from evaporating, which hasn't happened in this one. So what we'll do, we'll just let it sit there for a bit, lock it up, I don't know, give it an hour or so, and come back and have a look. In the meantime, while they're soaking out there, we'll take our centre that's already been done. Actually, the first thing we'll do, measure up what the slot's got to be. All right, so 14 mil cutter for it, and we'll drill them up. So, first thing you need to do, and I've been through this before, when you've got your nice shiny lips, all right, you're going to be doing a fair bit of stuff with them and moving them around a lot. So the first thing you want to do is protect this edge, because a lot of the time they're going to be sitting flat on that edge. All right, nothing better than that for that than electrical tape. Just give it a couple of layers, you know, stop it bumping into things, and sort of lay it over the edge so that it protects that outside and that edge there, because it's going to be sitting on that a bit. 2 layers is good. Right. Now, in a massive case of CBF, you know what that means. I'm just going to drill them through like this. The problem with this is, see, this is offset. So if I mark it all up like this and then cut that, by the time I turn it around and put it in, it's not going to line up with anything. So, but I need to drill it like this. So what we'll do, first of all, we'll put all the holes in it, and let's do the old, you know, put one hole in it, put a bolt in to hold a bolt in, and just nip it up so it holds everything in place, and then just go and drill all the rest of the holes, and then we'll come back and have a look at putting the slot in. But yeah, I need to put tape on these, like we'll set up the mill with the drill and just whack all the holes into all of them, which means we've got to unpack them as usual. My bench is covered in crap, and unpack them all and do the edges. Where the hell did you get this stuff, Craig? Man, it's just glued to itself. Get off! The other thing too is, once you've got them unpacked and they're sitting around like that, don't sit them into each other, because that puts scratches and scrapes on this edge here. Always sit them like that, or with like the back edge like that. Just stack them up. That's your best way of doing it. Keeps everything nice and happy. Later on, we are going to clear powder coat these. Just makes them a hell of a lot easier to look after. So yeah, but at this stage, that aluminium is quite vulnerable to scratches and dings and whatnot. So yeah, you really need to look after them at this stage of the game. Last one, okie dokie, another Alpha product. I like these guys, see? All right, so all we do here is whiz round. Go the other way, Mark. Clean up all these holes. Before and after. Dead easy to do. Should buy a set of these because you will be amazed at how often you use them. That's one drilled. Let's get the other ones done. Okay, number one done. We'll lock it in place with a bolt. There we go. That's just to key it in, and it stops it because as you're drilling, the lip will walk around all by itself. With these type of nuts, with the serration on them, you have to be careful if you're this one, it's not bad because it's going on whatever sort of happens on this surface here is going to be hidden behind the center here. But if this is going to be on the face of the wheel, like sitting on the front, you want to be careful because those little serrations will mark. It's not done up tight, so it's not a massive problem, but the other one is to get nuts that always use a flange nut with them because it spreads the load, but use ones without the serrations, the flat ones. Now, normally if I'm drilling with this method where I'm using the center as a template, I like to use one center per lip. That way these holes in the center itself don't get elongated if you're a little bit out of whack or whatever. But in this case, ours are lazing around down in the soup at the moment, so we'll just whiz through with this one and be careful about it. The other thing with doing it this way too is some of the really old wheels, we've got really old ones, they weren't done with CNCs because they didn't have CNCs back in those days. And these might not be exact. We've had copped this one in the past, so with the really old wheels, what we tended to do was that one lip, one center, and matched them up to each other, and that's like they always went together like that because they didn't, like one might not line up with a different center. So yeah, keep that one in mind too. All right, you watched me do this not once, not twice, but thrice, so I don't think you need to watch me do the next one. Alrighty, let's see about marking out the slot. All right, so that's all drilled. Where is it? I quite like these little step jobbies, and they're also keyed for a chuck. Yeah, these are from Sterling, up near Newcastle they are. We went there on the last pub run. Yeah, really cool gear, and they just knife through butter, especially it's through alloy, and it tends to cut a really nice clean hole too, with very little, as you'll see there, look, like, very little in the way of burrs. Okay, look at that, beautiful. Now, I was going to show you about let's line everything back up again. All right, so that's all my holes lined up. Now this thing here, why you can't do it this way around, I'll just mark that off for you. All right, so I've marked that off where that slot is. If I take that off and put it around the other way, yeah, you can't even see it because it's gone from over there on the other side over to here. Do you understand what I mean? Like, there it is there. To line it up with that, see the bolt holes don't line up, so you've got to mark it on this side to mark it on the other side. You know what I mean? All the holes lined up again. We'll just make our little mark here. So I marked it on the inside there, so when I put it back on the other side, that'll tell me where to drill. Okay, so what we do then is we offset it, because that's exactly in between the holes there. And look at that, lines up perfectly. Key it in, that's useless.
Make it very visible so I can see it.
And that's good to go. Beautiful. Look, it's fun, you know, having machines to do all this machining jobs and everything, but here's the problem. Okay, we've drilled a couple of holes and machined a couple of slots, and then the other day we cut a couple in half. Yeah, there's a few hours work. I need some sort of Oompa Loompa to come in here and clean all this crap up, because I don't want to do it. Okay, the centers have been chilling down in the soup for a while, so we'll go and check them out and see what the story is. Oh! Looks to me like all the paint's fallen off, because they're not that weird ass colour anymore. They look like to be raw. All right, let's get them cleaned up. Okay, so I think that these may have been repainted for two reasons. That colour that they are in is not a standard colour, but if you have a look at this one, that's quite a bit of gutter rash, so we've got to clean that up. But it looks like to me, this one's already been cleaned up. All right, I haven't touched that, and you can see where it's been rubbed back at some stage. And the other reason is the colour just flopped off it. If it was the good SSR stuff, it's usually a little bit harder to get off. But yeah, this just fell off. It's got a little bit still down in the bottom here. They all are the same. What I need to do is find a good wet blaster, local wet blaster. God, I miss my wet blaster. And get them blasted just to clean them right up. But in the meantime, I think what we can do is we might put one together just loosely using some stainless steel bolts, because they're sitting here in a pile. Don't use stainless steel bolts on your unwelded wheels. Yeah, I know these are welded, but it's only the lip and barrel that is welded together. So that's nice and strong. What's holding the center in? The bolts. And in this case, they're only 6mm bolts. Yeah, so no, don't do it. It needs to have bi-tensile in it, but for the purposes of what we're doing here, I think we'll be fine. Oh, something I forgot to talk about too was this. When you first get your lips or barrels or whatever, you always check that corner in there. If it's got a big radius on it, you will have to radius this corner here in this particular case, because it fits up underneath there. Otherwise it won't sit flat. It'll come up against that. But in this case, these ones, as you can see there, are very square. So everything just fits onto them. So yeah, let's chuck one together and chuck it on the toaster and see what it looks like. Put a nut on that to keep it there. Soft hammer. There she goes. Lovely. These little 6mm jobs don't like going on straight, that's for sure. You can use stainless steel bolts, because it's a supporter. Actually, you need to use stainless steel bolts. That one doesn't line up very well. On your fully welded wheels, that is, generally there'll be the center and the barrel welded to the back and the lip welded to the front. So there's two welds on, they're fully welded. They don't have a removable center. You can use low tensile bolts like stainless on those, helps them stay nice for longer. That one doesn't want to go in. There we go. But yeah, for all other stuff, that's not in properly. It's in now. No, it isn't. Might take a bigger whack. It's in now. We're just putting these together for the purposes of spin them up, have a bit of a look at them, make sure everything's happy. So they won't be done up real tight. These are a 25mm screw, and I think we only need a 20. Yeah, they're 25s, because there's quite a chunk still hanging out. Yeah, for tightening it up, we're just going to give it a rattle with the little Ryobi here. It doesn't need a big one. Is it Ryobi or Ryobi? I always thought it was Ryobi. But then again, I always thought Toyota Celica was Celica, not Celica. You're not always correct. And Nissan was Nissan, not Nissan. The Americans got it right there. Modena. And Martin, Biardi, really? That's good. All right, let's go and have a look. Blocks of wood, about there. Check, 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 perfect. Oh yeah, that's nice. See, it's giving you a bit of it like how would it look with a grey one on it too, you know? Or maybe done in a gunmetal. It certainly looks a lot different to the back one, doesn't it? It's a very different. It's a much more of a chunky look to it. Changes the look of the car. Much more sporting and aggressive. And like poke wise, we're actually looking pretty good. Let's have I'll show you that. That's not bad at all, is it? That's pretty damn good. I think we've got that size nailed. Yeah, I like the look of that. Still not sure on colour though, eh? Would look good in the gunmetal, I've got to say. I don't mind that. I'm looking in the camera and trying to go, and it's telling me the opposite of what to do, so. All right. I've had a few ideas on colour, but yeah, so I think that'll wrap us up for this week. In the meantime, I've got to find somebody to do some wet blasting for me. Get these centres wet blasted, and then we go on to colour. So that'll be in the next episode. Thanks very much for watching Barrel Brothers. Like and subscribe, because it all helps. I've got new merch. You've seen I've got some t-shirts. I don't have any Spacia t-shirts, so I didn't know it was that popular. But then the thing is, every time I put some Spacia content up, it goes wild. People love it. It's like I bought it as a commuter and just did some wheels and shocks and stuff on it, but people love the silly thing. That looks really good. I'm looking at the screen. I like that. Maybe some white walls. All right. Thanks very much for watching the Barrel Brothers channel, and we will see you next time. In the meantime, don't do anything stupid. See yous.